Okay, we are officially live. How's it going, everyone? My name is James. This is Adam, and we are from Tin Robot Games, and of course, a Board Game Binge podcast. Man, are we ever excited? We were trying to get this live up like 45 minutes ago, and just emails were like ping, 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 ping. So it's been super excited. We will take any questions you guys have. Luckily, we're using this new software, which is called Lula TV, which allows us to stream live on different platforms. So we've got YouTube, we've got TikTok, and we've got Instagram Live. And I can see we've got people joining us. Thank you very much, everyone who's joined. Little big thumbs. Hey, how's it going, my friend? Long time. We've got Stephen Hill. Stephen Hill is on the box. He's our rules ninja, which is awesome. He helps with the rules. And we got Veronica Ortiz as well. I can't wait to see your images. We just sent a copy to you as well. Thanks for everyone that's joined us. We do have a little ticker box at the bottom of our page here, which will have essentially running all day. Right now we're at 12,736. Man, that's exciting. This morning, within 15 minutes?
Yeah, it was going up.
It hit like 4,000 in like 10, 15 minutes. I was like, holy cow. So this is clearly probably going to be our biggest campaign that we've run yet. It'll be interesting to see how it goes this morning and see if we how quickly we do the funding, right? So we got a couple milestones we're trying to hit. One is the $20,000 goal. If we hit $20,000 in the first hour, I think that would probably be a first for us as well. After that, the next milestone is kind of our day one finish. So as people know that follow Kickstarters, there's this kind of hockey stick that goes, and usually your first day is a good predictor of how the campaign is going to end. So typically you'll take your first day pledges, and that's about 40 to 50% of what your total campaign will be, just based on the way the math works. So we're obviously very, very eager to see how this finishes today. It has been a whirlwind. This has been something we've been working on for about, I guess, 3 years now, eh?
Easily 3 years.
Yeah. So for those who don't know the story, we'll talk a little bit about it. We literally have, I think, 4 hours that we're going to fill in today until Adam has to go to work. But this really started when we were playing. I think it was Chai. I could swear it was Chai Tea we were playing that night. It was we had an office. We've since closed this office during COVID, but we were at the office playing, and it was a game night. And I was telling Adam about an article I had read, and this article was talking about how there's many scientists around the world that were saying, why are we focusing on Mars? We should be going to Venus. And I'm kind of a cosmology nerd. I love anything that's to do with the stars, Neil deGrasse Tyson, SpaceX. I love it all. You're going to see us actually checking our phones as we go here too, because we're getting pinged like crazy. So we will take some moments to actually respond to stuff as we're going. But certainly any questions you guys have, throw it into the chat and we'll do our best to answer here as well. So, being kind of a science nerd, I just love the idea that there was people that were UK listed in the shipping. Can't see it. Okay, well, I guess we're going to check the UK. We got people asking about our UK shipping. The reason you'd go to Venus versus Mars is it is actually, other than the fact you can never step on the surface, is way more hospitable. Venus, same size as Earth, where Mars is about 2/3 the size of Earth, and with less gravity, that's bone density loss issues there. There's zero atmosphere or very low atmosphere on, maybe 2% atmosphere on Mars. So you get blasted with radiation constantly. On Venus, you have a pretty thick canopy above you that will cover you from radiation. We also have on Venus temperature that's very similar to Earth, at about 50 kilometers up, which is about 29 miles, I believe. Atmospheric pressure is the same as it is on sea level on Earth. So it's basically the most hospitable. It's closer to Earth than Mars is as well. You can get there much, much quicker. So you can do more trips. And so it's just a much more hospitable place in the solar system to live other than Earth. But the only thing is you can never go to the surface because you get crushed and the heat would incinerate you. So you would have to have a floating platformer city in the clouds in order to survive on the planet Venus. And there's a lot of research that's been done around this. Russia did a ton of this in the 70s where they looked at, okay, if we were to colonize Venus, how would we do it? And what's interesting is breathable air is naturally buoyant at that 50-kilometer spot up. So other than you have the acidic clouds, you'd have to have everything coated in, a material that would protect it against the acidity of the clouds. You would have to wear protective clothing going outside, breathing apparatus, obviously. But other than that, man, I couldn't even imagine. It would be a pretty cool place to be. One of the other issues, though, is water. There's no water there. So you might have to cart that in. That's kind of important. But like we have in our game, you would have to create greenhouses and things like that to grow food. It would be tough. But I think colonizing any planet or moon in our solar system, period, would be tough for the first people. I think Elon Musk is famous as saying that people will die going to Mars. And certainly I think that would be the case on Venus. And with this game, we really tried to emulate that in the play, right? We wanted to be really harsh, really difficult. Bad things happen constantly. Just when you think you got things working, things break. And that's kind of the spirit behind what we wanted to have in our design. So that's kind of what we did. I'm going to throw it over to Adam because I'm going to respond to about like 10 messages that came through on this campaign. And you can keep talking about the game.
Yeah,
maybe talk about the mechs too if you want. They're kind of cool.
Yeah, so in our Kickstarter campaign, we have a bunch of little, I guess we have our little mechs here. I'll bring it into the camera. It's this way. There we go. So yeah, we have our mechs here, and we've got our little V-Nauts. If you haven't seen them yet, that's what they look like, little astronauts. In your V-Nauts, on your mechs here, the V-Nauts will sit on top of it when you're ready to use your mech to go mining. He sits right in the top. Your die will sit in front. You can grab your die and roll away. The game does play, like Jay was saying before. It's a 4-player game, up to 6 players if you get the expansion pack as well. All the components in the game are coming, again, with this game. We are getting a lot of messages coming through like crazy.
Yeah. Do you want to do it here? Can you grab the box? There's the game in this bag right there. We're going to start pulling some of the components so you guys can see what we have coming because it's awesome.
Top one?
Yeah, please. Show some. We had our niece Megan actually painted some of these minis, which are super cool as well.
Let me move this up. You got a top view or?
Yeah. No, let's do a forward view. Hold the camera just because I gotta get these going. There we are. Lots of comments on our Kickstarter page, which is super cool. It's almost impossible to respond as quick.
They're coming in pretty fast.
Oh my gosh, they're coming in fast.
All right, so we've got our cities here. If you haven't seen them yet, and it's on our Kickstarter as well, on our page. So that's your floating city right there. Got a lovely neoprene mat that will come on it as well. So, let's see. Oops, sorry.
It's all right. Alright, so that was one question. So we do have UK shipping is on the page. It's just under Great Britain. So we have GB for those that don't know. So that's Zone 2 for those who are just asking. Okay, what are some of the other questions we have? Okay. Oh, we got somebody in Barrie that wants to pick it up. Absolutely. If you live in Barrie, I am going to hand deliver it. Thank you to Vivek, who just said they're back and from Barrie, which is where we're located.
That's awesome.
Okay. Pledge, even if you do that at Pledge Market, or do you have to do that in the first 24 hours of the campaign? All right, another good question. So this is a question we're getting asked a lot, is the if they pledge $1 on day one to kind of hold your place. If you back by the final day, do you still get that first player marker? We're going to say yes. If you back us day one, then lock in a 4 or 6 player game, you get the marker. Woohoo! That's a great question. From Hackerytech. Will the resource and volcano trays have snap-on lids, or we babies the contents of putting it away for a 6-player extended version? Is the pack away going to be have similar trays stacked together instead? Basically, how is it organized in the box or set up and tear down? That's a great question too. Trays do not have lids.
So use your volcano tray.
Maybe show how they nest there too, eh?
Yeah, so when you do stack them away and put them away, all your volcano trays will actually nest together in a smaller tight. So there's actually 3 trays here that you have. The volcano trays, once you have them out, will hold all your little minerals. Minerals will be in little baggies, so that way it's easy to clean up. You can just stack them up, pick them up, and put them into your little baggies here. So you have your clear ones, your pink ones, and then your dark mineral as well.
I'm going to say, what would you say about setup and takedown? 5 minutes max?
Honestly, yeah, the tear down pickup, I would say maybe that tops. Like 5-10 minutes. 10 minutes if you're talking to people as you're setting it up, but very, very quick setup and tear down.
For clarity.
Also, you have your tray that holds all your V-knots. It's a little spaceship, as you can see here as well.
I love it. All right, we're at 14,660. We're getting very close to being funded. I was hoping to be the first hour. All right, it'll be funded in the first 2 hours. Hopefully, we'll see. Please send us your pledges. If you're interested in this game, help us get to that finish line. We really, really appreciate it. All right, live chat. We've got Victorian joined us as well. Tabletop Gamer Girl, welcome. Robat Games, hello. Dylan, hello. Minta, welcome. Elijah, welcome. Nathan, welcome. Again, any questions anyone has, please throw it in the comments. I don't know if there's... I think it's piping comments in here. Thanks to Diane for the vote of confidence. And our text went out, our text blast. We're trying something new this time. We collected a lot of phone numbers during our advertising on this campaign. I think it was like 1,100 or something like that. It is a crazy number. And, you know, often people will say, well, why do I have to give you my phone number? You know, I don't want to give you my phone number. And the reason we do this is that, unfortunately, there's a lot of bots on Facebook that will respond to ads and just automatically sign up the bot, and then you just start getting blasted by bots. So one way around that is if you ask for a phone number and an email, it will essentially filter that bot out. And so we did that, which was hopefully making a lot of those people that were signing up real people. The second thing that it does allows us to actually text blast as part of our software. So we use like Send and Blue to send out our mass emails. We're also working with BackerKit, who are helping us as well on this campaign. They have their own pre-marketing that they're doing and their own notifications they're sending out. And, you know, quite frankly, if somebody gives you their phone number, they're probably interested in the game. If it's a real person, unless it's a fake phone number, which of course I'm sure like 20% of them are fake, but you know, a number is going to give you that kind of that confidence that it is a real person. So we're going to try this time. We're going to see how it goes with this campaign. Is it going to work? I think it's working well so far, but we'll see. Right? Time will tell. It's going to be a long day. It's only 2 minutes to 10. We're coming up on our first hour. 15,000 raised already. That is amazing. I am so excited. 141 backers. Thank you so much to everybody that's backed so far. That's just super awesome. Okay, quick response. That was great. Shipping funds to upgrade with one extension. Okay, cool. VivTech, thanks for your pledge. I appreciate it. We got Caitlin Summers. I'm going to give a shout out to Caitlin Summers. Hey, Caitlin, some people know her by on social media. She's helping us with social media. She did a lot of the work, quite frankly, almost all of it, on the Kickstarter page as well. Very, very talented person. Really appreciate having her on the team. I want to give her a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Mackie, who's, if you look at our Kickstarter campaign, you can see our team. Maybe we'll do that right now. Let's go on the page. Let's try some of these... what do you call these, Adam? These little different frames here. So if I go to Safari, I gotta make sure I get to the page. All right, let's try Safari. There you go. First player marker mini. It's huge. This is a $10 add-on starting tomorrow. If you back today, it's free. You get the absolutely free included in your game. We're super excited about it. It's awesome. And quite frankly, I find it very useful. Because it's a lot of simultaneous play for most of the game except for the very last step, it's easy to lose track of whose turn it is. So ever since we had that, absolutely loved it. It's a little claw that's coming out from the station and grabbing a canister that's come through the clouds and it's bringing it into your holding bay. Is the painted one in there or no? Maybe in the other box there.
Maybe the other?
Yeah, check the other box. We've got... Yeah, it's got to be... Is there another box in there?
Yeah, there's...
Oh, sweet. So Megan, again, our niece, so talented. She painted the first player marker. Yeah, there it is. Oh, my God. Bring her over. Yeah, bring some of the mechs, too. All right, so what he's doing, let's go back. back to single camera. $15,703, 147 backers. Thank you so much to everyone that has backed us thus far. Oh, man, this has just made my day. I don't know about anybody else. Anybody else have that feeling of, did I pack my toothbrush? My gosh. Up until like the minute we hit go, I had that, did I pack my toothbrush moment? Was there something I forgot? And certainly these first few moments, you're going to know real quick what you forgot. Right? So a simple one, someone's like, where's Canada? In the shipping in the shipping grid at the bottom, it was in 2 different zones. So we just quickly removed it from one of the zones. Simple things like clarity around the first player marker, things like that. It's just great to have the community kind of join in and comment. If you've already backed this game, please drop comments into the comment section. It helps with the algorithms. It helps, again, keep the conversation going. The more the conversation goes on the game, the more it gets pushed out. Man, I hope we can get the Projects We Love designation. That is the one thing that I've never had. I don't know how you get it. It's a mystery box, but I pray that we get it. So, and I think a good part of that's probably how successful the campaign is, which drives a lot of that. But man, that just takes it to another level in terms of searchability. That's when Kickstarter themselves really start pushing the game out and so forth. So, any way we can get that would be very, very, very much appreciated. All right, let's go back to the Safari page. And again, any questions, comments, concerns, please sort in there. Endo Girl. She's on her way down to the city. Endo Girl, check out her channel. She's awesome. That's our niece, Megan. I know she's watching the live all day today. Megan, I'm glad you've been part of this journey. It's been fun. And I know she's a massive, massive fan of this game. And she painted all these minis herself, which I don't paint minis. But gosh, I wish I had this kind of talent. Like, just amazing.
I agree.
So you will see on the Kickstarter page, my nose is running, I apologize. Some of the 3D printed striation in the models. These are going to be injection molded. All right, so you won't see that in the final output. Likewise, the trays are thermal form. So we have in our Kickstarter page, you can see like the 3D printed trays that we had. We've already paid for these molds, so this is what you're getting for the rocket and volcano trays. In the 6-player version, you're gonna get 6 of these, 6 of the volcanoes and 2 rockets, as well as another 50 meeples. I think we're at 250 V-Knots are gonna be in the 6-player game, which is just an insane number of meeples. The meeples in this game are the currency. I hate to say it, but it's harsh on Venus, and people are going to die. People are going to die, but that's okay. It's all in the pursuit of establishing a thriving society in the clouds of Venus. Alrighty, who else we got here joining us? Endo Girl, welcome again. She's joining us on a few. So you guys muted. What? She says we're muted. Hey guys, on the way. Give us a thumbs up or a comment if you can even hear us. My mic says that we are live. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to check on the phone. Wouldn't that be funny if I'm just like miming me, my lips are moving this whole time for like 20 minutes and you can hear nothing? That'd be awesome. All right, so while he's doing that, There we go. There's the card. 17,543. Wow. Look at that. That's the Earth card. So sometime in the third drop, that card's going to come up. And the reason we did it that way was it really has a bunch of attention that kind of builds up. And you'll find that there's cards in the third phase which have a lot of victory points, but it brings your capacity of some of your departments down to 0. So there's one, for instance, like it's worth like 5 victory points, which is a lot in this game. But you're mining, you can't mine. It basically wipes out your ability to mine. So there's a little bit of a push your luck there, right? Do we want to? Yeah, there's
a food one.
Oh, there's a food one. This one brings your food down to
2.
To a 2, which impacts your ability to grow population. So it's a little bit of press your luck that, okay, you know, maybe I'm falling behind and I'm looking at everyone else's. And yeah, it's a mining one that shows 0. I see everyone else is starting to maybe pull ahead. I'm going to make kind of a last push to get my victory points up. And I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to just cook my ability to mine, but that's going to give me the victory points I need to win. What I think is really, really awesome about this game, which took us a lot of time to kind of work out, is the balance of the game. So most people, the top 2 scores are usually within 1 or 2 points of each other. It really isn't a game where you have like one person that's like significantly ahead of everyone else. It's there we go. Bob just joined us. Oh, we got Vivian as well. VivTech. Oh, I'm gonna go there. Oh, where's VivTech? Still can't hear us on YouTube. That is strange. Why can't they hear us on YouTube?
Let me check.
That is crazy. So you can hear us on
TikTok works.
TikTok, but you can't hear us on YouTube. Well, that really sucks. If that's the case, oh, now you can hear us. Okay, cool. All right, thank God. I thought I was going to have to break the link and start again because YouTube is kind of important. 18,000 pledge dollars. Thank you so much, everyone. So, yeah, the scores are literally within 1 or 2 of the top 2 players. Top 3 players sometimes can be within 1 to 3 points. So, every decision you make really counts. And so that was one thing that we had kind of built into this game, is we wanted to make sure that it was balanced, that when you get near the end, you still feel like you've got a chance, right? And that's one thing I personally don't like in some games, Catan, that you play where, you're one turn in and you already know you're cooked, right? You're like, okay, well, I'm just going to sit here as an observer for the next 2 hours because I have 0 chance of winning. That is not what we wanted in this game. We wanted to make sure that when people play this game, right up till the end, oh, and share your screen, you're muted. Oh, that's a good point. Okay, so I think that's actually just me linking in my my mic. Good point. I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch over to the desk cam, and I'm going to click my mic in. Thank you very much for your feedback, VivTech. All right, let me see here. Let's do this real quick. Desk cam. Oh, that's a desk cam. Interesting. Okay, well, so it says when we share our screen, we go muted. No audio on the table scene. All right. Well, that's a buzzkill.
I can hear you right now.
Can you hear me, though? Is it on the Safari? You hear me now, but what about before, though? Can you go back in time or no? Can you hear me, though? Is it on the Safari? Genders Gaming Brother! My Swedish brother! Or my brother from a Swedish mother, I guess I say. Genders Gaming just joined. Oh, good dude. Good dude for sure.
You're delayed a bit, so share it and see.
Okay, let me share. Adam's gonna do the audio test. We're gonna go to the Safari test right now. All right. So why is that? I have no idea. You know, I think we're going to do is we're going to... So I'm going to go Safari real quick. Back to single camera. Okay, we're going to try this. And... Can you check the audio? Now, can people hear me right now? Will I have this screen up at least? Anybody? Can anybody hear me? Here we are. All right, so we're going to move.
Yeah, we can hear.
Here we are. There's me and my sassy voice. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right, so we're going to do it this way. What do we got here? Andy Kim. Oh, Andy Kim. Thanks, pal. It's Andy Kim. He did the spill. He's a great dude. Let me just say this. This community is amazing. This community is absolutely amazing. I am so humbled and appreciative of everybody I've met through the podcast, through just through conventions, and literally anywhere I've met people in this community. It is just so it's awesome, and I just want to thank everybody for your support, quite frankly. You know, Andy Kim is somebody that I had on the podcast. We talked about his game, The Spill, which is a super cool game. He's a super talented game designer. Some of the stuff he's come up with is just blows my mind. It's awesome. And he's just one of many I've met. You know, I've done on the podcast now 226 episodes. So you got to think it's 226. Now, some of those are repeats. So let's call it, even with having the same guests on, 200 people I've met in the industry that I've been able to sit down and have like a good hour and a half conversation with, and getting to know them and really making friends, which is awesome. And it's so cool to see people at these different cons. We're going to be at actually Origins, right?
Origins coming up
in June, and I got your face covered. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I can see where's the. See if we can find the screen. I think it's at there we are. Okay, so I'm gonna. There.
Hey, hello.
Now
everybody.
we can see Adam. So now we gotta figure it out. So what we're gonna do is, I wonder if the table shot will be muted too. Oh, I hope not. If it is, then we might not do a playthrough today. Anyways, we'll do maybe a playthrough tomorrow. But what we'll do is we're gonna cover Adam's face from time to time to go through the page, and then that way you don't lose the audio, because I know that some of you give us feedback that we're losing audio. So thank you so much for your feedback. Aiden, thanks for joining. Okay, Endo Girl can hear us. Gender Gaming, yes. Thanks for your feedback, Genders. Again, talk about talent. That is one talented dude. If you haven't checked out Genders Gaming channel, he is top shelf when it comes to his content. The way he breaks down the games, the way he kind of explains it, he really makes it easy to understand, and in a very engaging way, which I think is super cool. And quite frankly, the reason why we reached out to him first out of everybody to say, hey, can you help us with the how to play video on this game, just based on his quality. He actually, I don't know if you noticed that, his show is now going to be on TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in is it Sweden, right? Yeah, Sweden. On local TV, they're actually going to run it. Our Family Plays Games. They're doing something similar down in the States. They got a local TV channel picked up as well. So I think that's really cool. You're starting to see this more often now, that these content creators are actually, that the local networks are kind of wising up to the fact that there's a lot of people love board games and like to kind of learn about board games, learn about mechanics, sometimes even watch people play. And that makes great content for TV. Will Wheaton, with his, he did this several years ago when he had his show. And that was kind of, I think, probably the trailblazer for everyone. And it's been cool. It's been cool to see. So, all right. I'm making you blush. Genders. He's a good dude. Good dude, man. I hope you're going to Essen. Adam and I are going to be at Essen this year. We're going to be showcasing Cities of Venus, probably Catnip Auction House as well.
Yep.
And And yeah, so anybody in Europe, if you're at, oh, you are going to be there. Fantastic. Well, my friend, we're going to have a beer together. It'll be great to finally meet you in person. Yeah, we're going to be at Essen. We're going to be at, we got another question coming in on the actual page itself. And we're going to be at Origins. Wanted to go to Gen Con this year, but we just, quite frankly, couldn't get a ticket. We could get a ticket, but we'd have to walk the floor. They weren't going to give us any kind of a booth. Tried to get a media badge even for Board Game Binge. And again, that was already sold out. So we will not be at Gen Con this year. Maybe next year we'll do Gen Con.
Your ticker's behind.
My ticker's behind. What are we at now?
We have crossed 19,000.
19,000. Oh, do I need to refresh the page maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, let me hit here. Yep. All right. Adam just informed me our ticker was behind. We are now at 19,000. We are 1,000 away from funding.
In an hour and a half.
That is amazing. I am super happy. This is my happy face. All right, so let me answer some of these questions. So we had some people come in on the actual page itself. Okay. Kristen Mott. Oh, thank you, Kristen. Oh, she's so nice. So Kristen Mott had her on the podcast twice. She did two awesome games. One called Sharks, the other one called Dino Exhibit. I love Dino Exhibit. It is what we bring it to game night probably every week. It is one of those, I'm going to call it a gateway game. I know she said she played a lot with her kids. We use it with adults. Like, I don't play with kids. Like, our game night is all adults, and there's usually 24 more people at our board game night. But often we have new people coming in. And if there's a game we need to play that's quick, that is easy to learn and kind of fun, not kind of fun, actually, it's a lot of fun. We pull out Dino Exhibit. It plays up to, I think, is it 8 players? I think it's 8 players actually can play it at a time. It's a roll and tile place, I guess. So it's roll and you're kind of shading in areas, and once you get certain areas shaded in, you can place your little tile and you can claim these different exhibits. It's a fun game. And again, Kristen is somebody I met on the podcast. And yeah, she's doing some great work. I can't even wait to see what her next projects are. She's on a roll for sure. Okay, we've got, is there any mean of promotion you are using to get donations to your campaign? Is there any means of promotion you're getting to get donations to your campaign? This is on our Kickstarter page. I'm not going to respond to that one. For people that are new to Kickstarter, yeah, you have to promote like crazy. And so we've been promoting this, quite frankly, for about a year.
For a long time talking
Yeah,
about it.
so the best advice I can give to anybody is start seeding out. Are you going to run I'll let you run the ticker because this ticker is not up to date. Because I want to pop the champagne when we fund. You got to, I think where we started kind of really learning is that you kind of have to seed things out right at the beginning. When I first got into the industry, I'm going to say when I first got into the Kickstarter industry, because we've been designing games for decades. Thanks but no thanks to the first one we did. It's right behind over our shoulder here. And that was the first game we created, almost 28 years ago. And when I first got into Kickstarter, I did what many people thought, which is, I'm going to keep all my cards close to my chest because somebody's going to steal my game. No one's going to steal your game. No one cares. They're working on their own. They're working on their own stuff. If they got time to steal your game, they should be putting that time into develop. They're probably putting that time into developing something else. So you're always best to share often and share early. So we start doing that now. Like I start showing stuff like in its design stage. Like I even have. Here's an example of this was our player board.
That's our player board.
One of our first player board we had, like literally a piece of paper in printed, and then it got to this. Right? Proof of concept. We started sharing images of this right out of the gate. I've got, this is Survivors of Venus, which is the next follow-up coming. And this is, I've been showing pictures of this game, which is a polyomino game. Share frequently, and then of course you have to advertise, which is really important, which is what we have been doing for the past 8 weeks. So you've probably seen a lot of ads over the past 8 weeks. Okay, so I think that's all those questions. Now back over here. Is there a Discord channel? There is a Discord channel. It's at Tin Robot Games. It's not. It's kind of an invite only. I think tonight what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend the money to get the what do you call it? The subscription. I think you have to put fuel. They call it. You put fuel in, and I'll put that on the page tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, Discord channel. I do now, but just quite frankly, we got so much going on, and I got 50 million things on my screen here, so I'm trying to keep up. But tonight, that's something I'll definitely do is the Discord channel, and we have one right now, but we'll make it more public. What else do we have here? Yeah, you don't want to hide the art for sure. What else we got here? Meeple Rouge. Okay, Bob. I'm so sorry, Bob. I'm just getting to your question now. Yeah, so solo mode. So people are asking a lot about the solo mode. There will be a solo mode of this game for sure. And it's under development now. This is one where I'm going to rely on people who are really good at doing solo games to help us create the solo rules. What's important to note is you will not need any special components to play solo on this game. Like, you won't. Like, this game is practically solo as it is. Like, everybody's playing their own game, right? Yeah. You have the central market that kind of in the last step, it goes in player turn order, and that player turn order changes from round to round. But it's not like you're attacking people. It's very Euro in that way, where you're playing your own game, and it's based on the minerals you get at the end. So creating a solo version, I have some ideas on what we're doing, like on how to do the solo of this. I just want to get somebody who's better at that kind of stuff than I am to kind of polish that up. But for sure, there'll be a solo mode, and likely before this campaign's even done, we'll announce that. And we got thank you to Jason who just backed us. Appreciate it. Thank you, Brandon. I am overwhelmed, guys. I remember when we did our last campaign, I'm like, I'm just going to hit a little thank you note to every person as they pledge. I can't type that fast.
We're going to have to do this later.
Yeah, like we're in the hundreds, which is cool. But it is, oh man, is this ever awesome. Okay. What else do we have for questions here? Okay, so the solo mode. Co-op mode as well. I don't think we're going to launch a co-op mode just because it's kind of co-op-ish already, if that makes sense. Like, again, there's no take that. You're all kind of, you're trying to survive on Venus, right? And I find even when people are playing, often they will give each other advice and say, hey, you might want to try this, you might want to try that. I know that when I play with players, especially new players, when we do the first round, I like to almost do it together. To say, okay, guys, let's all do it this way. It's a very easy way to teach people and help them get the concept really, really quickly of how to play the game. You can pick it up after the first round. You got kind of the core essence of the game, of how to play it, and then they're kind of on their own from there. It also allows me to make sure you set them up as best we can for success. 1990, are we there? What's that say? 19,963. We are one right pledge away, my friends. One pledge away from funding.
Who's gonna push
baby,
over?
Who's gonna push us over? Who's gonna upgrade their pledge and push us over? All right, let's see here.
Upgraded a pledge, $40. Let's go!
Yay! High five! We did it! Woo-hoo! Yeah! All right, we funded, folks. That was an hour and a half. Holy!
We are over it.
Holy crap! Hour and a half funded. That's
awesome.
That's insane. That's insane. Are you committed to delivering the official set of rules? Yeah, 100% I can commit to doing that. So I got Bob asking if we'll commit to providing the rules. Yeah, so by the time this thing ships, the solo rules will be in the box. I'm thinking probably it'll probably take us 2 months before we have that on Tabletop Simulator. So Tabletop Simulator for sure will have the solo version on there as well. Again, check out the Tabletop Simulator version of this game. It is awesome. There's stuff that you can do there that you can't even do in this game. So, for instance, everything has infinite bags, pulling meeples out of the rockets and things like that. Again, the auto dealing. The volcanoes are actually like smoking, like there's smoke coming out of the volcanoes. Like it looks super cool. So if you get a chance, check that out. Let me just answer Bob in his. So we get this in writing. All right. Now, did he put that on the page, or did he ask me as a question? Thanks. Are you able to?
Maybe it was in the page.
Okay, we're gonna put. Oh, it's an email. Okay, cool. Either way, we're gonna commit to this. Yes, I commit. All right. Yeah, solo version for sure, Bob. We're gonna have that.
100%.
One thing also we want to do on this game. I apologize. I keep wiping my nose. One thing we wanted to have on this game is we definitely wanted to make sure that it played up to 6 players, right? So I know we're talking solo, but let's talk the other end of the spectrum. Every game that I try to produce now is minimum 5-player, if not 6-player game, and that, quite frankly, was just out of necessity. Going to game nights, even at your house sometimes, eh?
Yeah, we play steady with 5 to 6 players every time we're playing board games. And I just find, like, now that board games, a lot more people, like the groups and stuff, group setups, you just have a lot more people playing together. And when you have a larger player count, it allows more people to jump in and have some fun, quite frankly.
Yeah, like even at your house, right? So you'll have... so my wife, Kyle's not a huge gamer, so I'm usually the one that's going gaming with you guys. And, they'll usually be the couples, right? You'll bring the in-laws over. There'll be 2 of them, 2 of you, and then... you often say, hey, do you want to come over and play games? But I'm the 5th man out, right? So, for me, it's important to have 5, 6-player games so that you can be more inclusive. I find this at game night, too. Nothing bothers me more when I go to game night and someone has to sit off to the side. And I had that happen. I remember it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We were about to pull out a game. And quite frankly, this is a game we'd been wanting to play for weeks. And we're getting ready to pack it out, and then someone walked over and said, hey, I don't have anybody to play with. Can I join you guys? And it was a 5th player. And we're like, yep. And we ended up packing the game up and putting it away, and we pulled out a game that played 6 players. But if more and more games played up to 6 players, then you wouldn't have to do that. You say, yeah, come on in. Let's add in that 5th person. That'd be much easier. So this game goes up to 6 players, and that was a key for us. I'm going to let you talk, Adam, while I very quickly send out this backer kit update, which just basically tells everybody that we funded.
Yeah, just going back to the 6-player game, I find most games now are including that's like 5 or 6 players, just because I think everybody's starting to notice that everybody's playing in larger and larger groups rather than just 2 people, 3 people. Now there is a large audience that loves playing solo games. I, for one, if James doesn't come on over to my house to play some board games, or I'm not going somewhere, just like him. My wife isn't the biggest board game gamer, but she does play them if I ask her, and she humors me, I guess, in a way, that way. But sometimes if I want to play a game and it's just me, I could pull out a solo mission game and play it. So for Cities of Venus, yes, we will have that solo for sure. But yeah, with our cards, we will be adding a bunch of different cards, different level ups and all that stuff as well. Some more events. But yeah.
We have, I'm going to update. I just sent out the backer kit. So anybody that hasn't, the cool thing about backer kit, I'm going to give these guys a shout out on this too. This is like super cool. So what they do is they've got this program called Launch. That you can use. It costs like $100. If even if you're not using them, you can use their template. You put all your emails into their system, and they'll manage almost like a MailChimp or like a Sendinblue. They'll manage as a platform sending those emails. But
excuse me.
The real cool thing that they do is it will exclude people that already backed you. So if you want to send an email as a reminder saying, "Hey, we just funded. Do you want to it's not too late to join," or "Hey, why don't you join all these other people that just joined in?" you can do that with a click of a button, which I can't do that with Sendinblue or Mailchimp. So that is super cool, and I really appreciate all the stuff that they do. And I want to give a shout out to Alex and Chandler from BackerKit, two excellent people. They were all over this campaign for the past 8 weeks to make sure that we were ready to go. Just really easy to deal with and very proactive in dealing with you. Chandler and I went through last week, at the beginning of last week, just went through the page and he gave me feedback. He went through and said, hey, this is what I'm seeing here. You might want to change this because searchability is going to improve. You might want to change this because it's going to help. Doing this live was his idea. He's like, you got a big audience. Why don't you do like a live? And I'm like, yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. So that's why we did all this. So again, it's so collaborative, and it's awesome working with them. Maybe you can show some of the cards, because I'm going to do this update to our actual Facebook page. I got to change the header real quick.
So yeah, in Cities, if you guys haven't seen it or you guys are looking at getting
slide a card in there at all?
Yeah, we'll show you. So this is your original city. As you can see in most of the areas, I'm just getting used to the camera here, so my apologies. In the bottom corners, you'll notice that that's the capacity limit for each area. So right now, as your base setup, you're allowed to hold at least 6 VNOTs in each area. As you start to play the game and you start collecting those drops, as we call them, in stages, it's in 3 different stages. But for example, as you start to play it, it'll unlock certain types of upgrades. For example, this one here now allows you to upgrade and hold in not only 6 people in that area in your power station, it allows you to hold up to 7. As you start to progress in the later rounds, it'll start to allow you to progress and hold up to, like, for example, up to 8 VNOTs in one area as well. And you start to accumulate different power-ups. So the way it works actually, and which is really cool and people love, is when you have, let me see where we are here. So from here, when you get a new upgrade, all you do is you take your card that you've purchased, you slide it into the side, and as you slide it in, you'll actually see the upgrade happening, and now it says 8 in the area with your victory points as well in the little window and the cutout. And what's really nice about the boards as well is when you have your VNOTs in the different areas, because they're quad layered, as you slide the card in, it doesn't actually shuffle around your VNOTs that you have stored in your area and it shoots them across your board. It'll actually hold them in place, so you don't have to worry about creating a mess. Oh, where were those VNOTs? Were they on one side or the other side of the board? And you just kind of keep leveling up your city in that format and getting new abilities, new perks, along with those airdrops and making new upgrades to your city. We also have our innovation station. Once you've sent 8 people off to the side and you sent them up to space, up into the innovation station, you will be allowed to acquire a innovation to add into your area of whichever area you're going for. For example, there's one card here that's show you here. It says it allows you to have stable shields. Now that won't allow you to actually drop your shields per round, so that would slide in here. Now keep in mind when you do those kind of upgrades, sometimes instead of having it going from 6 people in your shields area, now it drops down to 4. But again, you're not losing a VNOT every round anymore, so you're kind of saving the people in your city in a way where you're not losing somebody due to the corrosion or the acid taking somebody out. But yeah, the game keeps playing. Anything else you want to add?
What I would add is if anybody who's watching right now, if you can do me a huge favor, on the page at the bottom, there is a KickTrax link. If you can click that KickTrax link, which will take you to the KickTrax page, it'll register on their website that this campaign is running. It will help us increase in terms of hotness on the ranking. I was trying to upload the Facebook header, but unfortunately I'm going to have to do that later because I cannot find it for the life of me. please. That would help us. Right now, it's all about boosting algorithms. What number are we at right now? This says 2636 on the page. Is that where we're at? Is it up to date or no? Thanks, Seb, for your back. Appreciate it. Stephen Hill, glad you're watching. Thank you, Jeremy, for your pledge.
We're 11th on the main page right now.
And we're 11th on Kicktracks right now. So we're trying to, again, we're at 20,746. Again, help us increase the hotness. I know there's a lot of great games on Kickstarter launching today. Clank 2 2nd Edition Legacy is launching, which is bringing in a crap ton of traffic, I'm sure. Help us get some of the hotness if you can. Help us get there. Thanks to, we said a new backer that was as Mogoth. Thank you for your pledge. Arcadia, thank you for your pledge. Jeremy, Seb, as I said, Aaron, Kev, Gilles, Veronica, JT's following us on Kickstarter. I'm sure that's JT Smith. Cool guy from the Game Crafter. I'll actually say
number 2 on the page.
Or number 2 on Kicktracks?
On actually Kickstarter.
On Kickstarter. Nice. JT Smith from we had him on the podcast twice, I believe. So check out the podcast, boardgamebinge.com. You can find us there. At my so what I want to say about GameCrafter really quickly is, although what you see here is manufacturing samples, we actually were able to get quite a bit of this game done with GameCrafter. Everything except for the player boards, because they were too big to follow their sizing templates. But the gems that we were able to have in this game, the cards that we had for a lot of our prototypes, even these little player aids. They even can do a neoprene mat right now if you're on the Game Crafter. If you go through Game Crafter, you can get neoprene mats, and whether you're doing a small mat or a larger mat. For me, that was it was key for us as we were demoing this game in a lot of our playtests, because table presence was important to get people to actually want to try and play the game. But it helped even us, I find, start to visualize, okay, what could this look like, right? And the fact that they do that is cool. So anybody who's doing prototyping of themselves, check it out. Go to the gamecrafter.com, and you too can create a game. I just recently backed a game, which I'm going to show right here, from Fun First Games, called Triple Scoops. I had this as Joe Slack does a once a month playtesting thing online where people can playtest other people's games. I playtested this game almost half a year ago, and when they launched, he was doing a very small campaign, and his campaign is actually just Kickstarter. And as part of that, it was a fun game. I love playing online, so I backed that game and it finally arrived. But Kickstarter, I mean, with Game Crafter, you can even do small campaigns through them. If you want to do like a small crowdfunding and do production, if you're doing small quantities, they're great for doing small quantities. Drew, welcome. Drew Go 20. Amy, Team Chaos, thanks for joining. I love these handles. All right, I'm going to cover up your face, Adam, and I'm going to show the page if that's cool. Let's see here. No, not that one. All right, we're going to try here. Let me go back over to the page. There we go. And zoom back up to the top. All right, we're going to go through it feels like a telethon, doesn't it? You're just kind of talking and stuff. I'm going to be like, I'm doing an actual episode of the podcast tomorrow with Vesuvius Media. They have the game, it's a pirate game. I can't remember, Ahoy or something like that. I'll get it later. But anyways, you actually have little pirate ships, and they did the same guys that did Catapult Kingdoms. They've got another game that's on Kickstarter right now. Looks super cool. I'm interviewing them tomorrow afternoon, I believe. So hopefully I still have a voice for then. Okay, so let me share this Safari page. Okay. This is Cities of Venus, and I am going to adjust this slightly so I can get the page. And there. All right. So, day one backers, as I said, you get a free first player mini. We had held this up to the camera earlier, but this is what it looks like. The claw coming out grabbing the canister on the station. You get that for free. It's a $10 add-in. If you back it today, anytime between now and tomorrow morning, you get that for free. So our campaign, as we said, is 2 to 4 players. It expands to 6 players. So we've got 2 different pledge levels. One's a 2 to 4 player. For slightly more, you can get the 6-player version. The 6-player version actually comes with a lot more stuff, and it's not duplications. So all the cards you get will be for the 6-player game. They're in addition to the 4-player game, will be unique to the 6-player game. So there is, for the added money, there is uniqueness to that particular copy. It comes with 6 of all the main components as well. This is a table shot that we did. The only thing missing from this table is 3 more volcanoes that you would get as part of your 6-player edition. It takes up a lot of space on the table. The box is quite thick, and it's even thicker than what we'll have here. And it's a 13 by 13 inch box. Ships 13 by 13. I think the box itself is just over 12 by 12. And to fit all the stuff in there, it's quite crammed. We've got these dice mechs. These were hand painted by my niece, Megan, but you have them on the volcano. You can see that they're doing some mining. Why back now? I like to talk about this. You know, the one thing that's very important to note is that what you see on this page is only available on Kickstarter. And what I mean by that is, will there be a retail version of this game? There will be at some point, probably through localization partners. But we're not intending at this point to create a retail version of this game. This game, as you see here, is not going to be sold to retailers. It is not going to be sold to distributors. You might be able to buy it from us at a convention, or you might be able to buy it from us off our website at a higher price than you have here on Kickstarter. But that's the only place we're selling these copies. If we do a retail version, it'll be much lower MSRP, but we're stripping everything out. So there'll be no neoprene mat. There'll be no minis. There'll probably not even be the thermoform trays. You'll literally get the gems, the meeples, and the cards. That will be pretty much it for the MSRP, which will probably down around $50 for a retail version. But we want to assure our backers that by backing us, you're supporting us, and you're getting something for that, right? You're getting some uniqueness and some exclusivity.
Just like to say we hit 200 backers.
200 backers. High fives. It's awesome. The other thing is that we're just a small publisher. It's just Adam and I. That's it. Just 2 of us, right? And this is what we call our jobby. This is our part-time gig. This is something we do because we love it and we're passionate about it. No one's getting rich off of Kickstarter, but it's something we do that, again, it's the creative outlet, right? Everyone needs a creative outlet in their life. This is ours. We just love creating games. We love putting games in the marketplace. And quite frankly, I just absolutely love when I see somebody playing something I've created. It is just an awesome, awesome feeling. It just hits you right there, and that's why we keep doing it. So those are 2 basic reasons why you might want to back this campaign. More simultaneous playing, right? So it means more playing, less waiting. All the reviewers pretty much said this, that it moves very fast, 15 minutes per player. Because you're not waiting for people to take their turn. You're not sitting there twiddling your thumbs. Everybody's doing something all the time, except for the very last step where you go and play your turn order to grab your card. But usually by then, you've already decided what card you want by the time it gets to that step. So it's robust in terms of content, but it's very streamlined in how it plays. All right, so it plays very, very quickly. This gives you a quick overview of the basic steps of the game. So first we have the drop. So 5 cards get laid out in a 4-player game. And... that's my friend Pierre Chartier. I will have to call him later. He is a good friend from Quebec who backs every single one of my campaigns. He's just a great, great dude. I'll reach out to him later on. So the drop. 5 cards get laid out if it's a 4-player game. If it's a 6-player game, 7 cards get laid out. And this represents supplies that have come from Earth. And this is everything from immigration upgrades, boosts to different departments, engineers specific to certain departments, and it's upgrades to actual departments like Adam was showing earlier, and these upgrades will actually plug into your board. Once that drop happens, you'll notice that some of the cards have this caution symbol on them. And it could be, every card could have it. Like it's the deck shuffles and randomizes that every game play is different. say you have 3-4 events come up, based on the phase you're in, that is how many of those you're going to resolve. So even if 4 event symbols come up, if you're in phase 1, you're only resolving 1 event. If you're in phase 3, you're going to resolve 3 events, and you're going to resolve them in order. Resolving events, you flip the top card off the event deck. Mostly bad stuff happens. I'm not going to lie. I think we have it. It's about 20% of the cards are good, which is a positive gain of immigration to your station, but it's mainly bad. And it's designed that way, right? We want this to feel like you're struggling to survive on Venus, right? And then after you resolve your events, then guess what? Your shields erode because your ship is floating in these acidic clouds and they're constantly eroding. It forces you to constantly make sure that you're placing people in different departments and keeping the station going. You can't just, Kelly Boardspiel, hey, how's it going? You can't just, say, I'm going to just put them all in the food and air area and I'm going to just max out my population growth and forget about everything else and it's all about meeple growth. You got to make sure you're placing people everywhere because if you don't, you're in for a lot of pain. And I was watching the Getting Jiggly with It live podcast, YouTube playthrough they did on Sunday. And they weren't growing. They were moving their people around, but I'm like, guys, you might want to start putting some people over here. Or you're gonna be in for some pain. And they didn't, and sure enough, they were in for some pain. It was fun to watch. So that is the eroding shields phase. Then you get into population growth. This is basically you take however many people you have in your crops in your food area. Look at the number of people you have in your air and water department. Whichever has the least amount of VNOTs, that represents your population growth. So in this case, you can see in this graphic, it shows that, hey, I've got 4 in food and air. I got 3 in air and water. My population has grown by 3 that round. I get 3 people. I can now place them across my board. At any time when you're placing meeples, you can place them on your innovation board as well. We've got these little mini player boards, which are your innovation station. They also act as a handy little guide. So you have the different steps so you know which order you're supposed to go to. And also has the scoring points in the bottom of here's your end game scoring. Just as a reminder, everybody has one of these in front of them. But you're placing your VNOTs on there. You can deploy up to 2 per tick at a time when you are placing VNOTs. So if you're growing your population, you can take up to 2 and put them onto the station. If you get a card that allows you to get an immigration boost that you can put anywhere, you're putting up to 2, you don't have to, but you can put 2 up to the innovation station. Once you have 8 people on your innovation station, it's an immediate cash-in. And then those, you can grab one of the upgrades. So we have these innovation cards, which are here somewhere, I think.
Yep.
Those are
the innovations right
now. Yeah, here's our innovation cards. So it might be something like this. This one is stable shields. So this plugs into your board. It shows you that little shield peeks through the window and lets you and other players know that, okay, now when the acid rain is hitting you every round, your shields don't erode. You don't lose a person. However, you can still get impacted by events. There's others that allow you to move people across your city. Right now, it's meeple laid, meeple played, right, is kind of how we play this game. So once you've placed them in a department, they're there for good. They're trained. That engineer can't go and work in another station. If they're in, say, crops, if they're farming, they're not going to now go and fix the engineering room. However, this has rapid transport that allows people to move from department to department. We have other ones like injecting, and I saw actually the Get Jiggly guys did this the other day with, again, so much pain and suffering. He ended up lucking out and being able to get enough VNOTs into a station that he was able to upgrade and grab this card, which allowed him to pull 10 people back into his station and gave him another little kind of breath of life. We've got another card. This is you have like a hero mechanic that makes sure that anytime you have to pay a mechanic cost, it's free. So we have all these different types of upgrade cards, and these are just a selection of what we have of those that are actually coming. As we said earlier, there's going to be at least 3 different upgrades per department. Plus, in addition to that, each of the departments have capacity changes and things like that you can do, which are really, really cool. City actions. This is where kind of most of the stuff happens during the game. So everything else is kind of prepped to get to this point. Once you're at this point, you can do any one of 3, 4 actions. It depends on what card selection you have. In any order, you can do any of them, all of them, none of them. It's your call. One is, as I think Adam was showing earlier on in the the board that during the canister grab phase, you have the ability to reserve cards. So you can put the card like at the bottom of your holding bay here, and you can reserve it if you can't pay for it right away. But later on, during the city action phase, you pay a mechanic cost plus the cost that's actually on the card. This one's actually, give me one of these ones.
Yep, they're over there.
Say the cost that's actually on the card. You pay that plus a mechanic, then you can install it or activate it if it's a boost card. That's one of the city actions you can do. Mining is the other one. You're constantly mining for the V-Knight, which we call the V-Knight minerals. And the V-Knight is used for, there's endgame scoring for your V-Knight. There's also, your V-Knight is needed to buy stuff in terms of the cards. A lot of the cards actually has V-Knight as part of the cost, the canisters. And then also, there's a kind of a catch-up mechanism that if you're getting slammed too hard in a department, you can buy up to one V-Knot per round for the cost of 4 minerals. So you constantly always want to be mining if you can. You have to make sure you have people in that department. Patrick Hapner, thanks for the... Scott, thanks. One of the reviewers just sent me notes saying congrats on the funding. So you can purchase a V-Knot for 4 minerals. So you always want to be mining. And then that's the other city action you can do, which again, I know Adam was demonstrating it earlier, but we're going to demonstrate it again using one of the amazing painted minis that my niece Megan did. Again, they don't come painted. You have to paint your own. But you have your dice here. You put your meeple in. He takes a seat. You take the dice out. You roll it. Depending on your roll, that's the mineral points you're going to grab from the stash. The black ones are 1. Pink is worth 4. And the clear are worth 8. So people say, well, why not in bases of 5? Why are you going to bases of 4? Because it makes it easier for endgame scoring. And it's easier. It's basically in terms of how much that ore has been refined. So the black dark hasn't been refined. It's worth 1. As you get better and better refinement of that mineral, then it becomes clearer and clearer. So that's the clear ones are worth more, which are worth 8 at the end of the game. Put your dice back. You take that person. He's gone. It was a one-way trip. I'm so sorry. Maybe you'll see in our follow-up game that he actually he doesn't die. But for right now, people will think he's cooked. But that person's gone. The reason we have these mechs is yes, they look super cool on the table, and some people are like, oh, are they just decorative? Kind of, but not really. One thing we found when we were playing this game was that because the end game scoring is always within 1 to 3 points for the top 2 players, mistakes make a difference, right? And if someone didn't burn that worker to roll, so didn't pay for the chance to mine, that could unfairly give them better scoring at the end of the game. And we found in all of our playtests we're doing is people would constantly forget. They'd roll, but they're like, oh, did I burn a miner? I can't really remember. And it was honest mistakes. They just couldn't remember. And there's no way to tell. So by going through the sequence of placing a person there, taking the die, rolling it, putting it back, burning the person, everyone can see that everybody's mining properly. And as for yourself, you can see that, okay, I did, in fact, use that person to mine. So that's why we have these dice mechs. They look super cool. Great way to hold your die as well, of course. And they look awesome. So that's the city actions. Then we get to the last step, which is claiming a canister. So that drop that we had at the beginning in the first step, always people are going to look at that and kind of see what they're wanting and they got their eye on. Depending on the first player, this first player marker, that person gets to choose first. It goes in clockwise order in terms of the next person to choose and so forth. Everyone gets a chance to be the first player. So even if, there's a card you wanted and someone else grabs it this turn, there's usually going to be another card that you want. And on subsequent turns, you're going to be in that position where you're going to get the first grab. So you grab your different cards. And if there's a card you don't want, and you will get into this probably usually in the third phase, if you've already got your board kind of maxed out and you're like, I don't really need any of these particular cards, you don't have to take one. You can take a V-Knot in lieu of grabbing a card. It's not as great as getting an upgrade, but at least it's a consolation. In some cases, that might be something you might need to do just to catch up on a department. If your shields just got punished and whacked and you didn't properly prepare by having enough people there to cover your shields, and an event happens and whacks out 3 people from your shields, well, you might need to start grabbing meeples instead of cards. So that's one option we have as well. I will say in this game, which is kind of cool, if you have to give up a person from a department because of an event or it's basically because of an event, or if your shields are eroding. If you don't have a person in that department, you have to lose 2 from somewhere else. So it's not a case of, well, just let my shields go. It's okay. I'm going to focus over here. If you let your shields go and events start happening and you have to road shields and there's no one there, you start losing people at an increasing rate from other parts of your board, which is really, really bad and quite punishing. So it really forces you to make sure that you're balancing your approach across this game. We wanted the game to be that way. We didn't want people just to say, hey, I'm going to make a mad dash just for minerals, or I'm going to just make a mad dash for getting as many meeples as I can, or I'm just going to make a mad dash for victory points. To win the game, it really is a combination of all three. Right? You need to have minerals, you need to have population, and you need to have victory points on the cards. Those 3 things combined is what's going to give you your end game score. So that's basically end game scoring, which is just talking about here on the page. So it's the victory points in your cards. 1 victory point for every 2 VNaughts in your city. So any VNaughts you have sent to the station that you didn't cash in, they don't count. And then we also have bonus points for the people that have either the richest nation or the people that have the most populous nation. They get 2 bonus points. Of course, these are ties are paid out to everybody. We do that just so it's not a buzzkill. The one thing I'll also say too is if you reserve a card, we call it the anti-debag rule, which is, when you're playing games and someone's like, ooh, I'm going to take that card. And it's not that they want the card, they just don't want you to get the card. So we've got something to kind of cover for that. If you have any card in your station that you have not, that you've reserved, but you haven't installed by the end of the game, you lose 2 victory points. So it's very important that you don't just leave it down there. This happened to us when we played the last game.
I think this rule was added because I usually steal his cards. That way he can't get the ones you really want.
Yeah, probably. This actually happened last game we were playing. I think I probably would have squeaked out a win on that one, but I had this card that was worth 5 victory points. And I'm like, I'm going to put that in my holding bay. But it dropped my shields down to like 2. And I'm like, well, I can't afford to have my shields that low, so I'm going to install it on the very last drop. The problem happened is when we got the very last drop, we had an event come up where there was no population growth. And I wasn't able to grow the population I needed in the department I needed to pay for that card. I couldn't install it. So I left it too long. I took too much of a risk. And not only did I lose the 2 victory points that it cost me to leave it there, but I didn't get the 5 that I was reserving either. So that was quite costly for me. So very, very important to make sure you're installing those canisters. I'll get into the pledge levels. Please feel free to shoot your questions to us if you're watching us on the live feed. Let's see here. Let's go through real quick. I think we answered most of them. What's weird about this feed is everything comes in random order, which is bananas. All right. Either way, if you have questions, please shoot them to us. We'll do our best to answer them. You can always go to Kickstarter, look for Cities of Venus as well. And we'd love to have you give us a back, even if it's $1. Even if you're like, I'm not sure right now, pledge $1, reserve your bid. That allows you that if you do lock in a pledge by the end of the campaign, you still do qualify for that free first player marker. But it helps us with our count. It helps us get our first day backer count up high, which shows Kickstarter that people are engaged, which helps us get that day one backer, get the projects we love designation. It helps us with kick tracks in getting the hotness list, which again feeds algorithms and helps us with our searchability. So anything you can do would be appreciated. Again, I'm going to say it, if you're watching this live, please go down to the bottom of the Kickstarter page, click on the kick tracks link. There's a button at the bottom. Click on that if you don't mind, please. It helps us with our searchability. Okay. So let's talk really quickly about what is in the box. I'm losing my voice already. I gotta take a swig of my coffee. Thank you, Tim Hortons. Okay. Base level. Okay, so base pledge level is for a 2 to 4 player version of this game. Comes with a neoprene mat. This stitched neoprene mat is in every game. It rolls up, it fits right in the box, so you don't have to worry about neoprene mat kind of carrying it with the game later on or having it collecting dust in a corner somewhere. Fits right in the box. Our mining dice mechs, originally we were going to have this as an add-on, but it was just too cool. We had to include them in the game, so you get the 4 mining mech minis. Show what they look like when they're painted. Again, thanks to Megan, who did all the painting of these. Here are 4 ultra premium quad layer player boards. It's funny, I hear different people refer them as like dual layer or 3 layer. These are actually 4 layers. So you have obviously the bottom layer, which everything is kind of sticks to. You have, which allows us to have kind of where you store your minerals in the center. We have another layer that's sandwiched in between that you don't see, which allows the space to actually slide the cards in, which we have these little windows that you can see here. So when the cards slide in, you can see through the window. But then we also have another layer on top, which keeps your meeples from flying all over the place. So it acts as like a little mini tray at the very top. So we have that. So these are our ultra premium quad layer boards. Sarah Pippi just sent us a nice note. Thank you very much, Sarah. I really appreciate it. And so you can see right here, this is exactly how the quad layer boards work, right? The cards slide in and the meeples stay in place. This was something that we wanted right from the get-go. This is literally day one when we were sketching this game out. Right away, we're like, we have to have something where you physically are upgrading the board, where you're plugging things in, and it feels like you're actually adding on to the city. Kind of like Battletech when we were younger, right? How you can kind of add things onto your mech. We want to have the same thing with our city. So that's why we create these boards. 86 cloud drop cards. You can see in the previews and the reviews, lots of great artwork. We've got a lot more coming. This is what we have. So I think, how many unique pieces of artwork do we have? I don't even know. It's a lot. I think we're at probably 30 just in these cards alone. There's a lot more coming, and we're working on that. Our work takes time, but they'll be there in the final game. Event cards as well. We're finalizing that, but we got tons of events. Bad stuff often happens. We can see on this one card, kind of on the right there, you see like a 1, 2, 3. That just shows you for some of these events when they come up, depending on the phase you're in, it gets even more punishing. So it's very important to be mindful of that. Carrie and Staley just joined. Welcome, Carrie. Congratulations, James and Adam. So happy and excited for us. Thank you very much, sis. That's my sister just joined. She's with my niece down in Toronto. They had an appointment. Then we got 24 innovation cards. These are the upgrades that allow you to not just upgrade your station, but really give you kind of a power, right? Something that's unique that other people are likely not going to have, or something that's going to be more juiced up than maybe another player has with a similar card. And the shield, kind of stable shields is an example of that. We're going to be adding some cards that have also, that wasn't in the reviewer copies, but things that'll protect you against events, right? So if you want to protect like your power station from being hit from an event, there will be an upgrade card you can get that you can slot in that will insulate you from those kind of events as well. So again, you take something like that, it's going to be at the cost of something else. And we have that. There's always opportunity costs in all these different things. There's trade-offs. Do I want to do this? I'm going to do that. I'm not going to get to do this other thing. And that's really something we wanted to have as choices. We want to force people to constantly have to make different choices throughout the game. For International Innovation Station player boards, the final artwork is going to tweak on these a little bit. Because this game is language independent, we'll likely have player aids as a card, and then take the language off these boards altogether. And then that way, for the different languages, it's just the book, and it's a reference card for the different languages. Allows us to do the 6 different languages. 200. I say that again. 200 V-Nuts, and they're painted on both sides with the little helmets. So not one painted side, 2 painted sides. That's actually 2-color print, right? So they got a metallic silver, and then their little pink face screen to show the reflection of the clouds of Venus. 135 acrylic gems, again, black, pink, and clear. 4 marbled D6 dice. And we get a lot of great feedback on these. People love these dice. Like they're super cool. This is something I knew right away, that I had pink dice in a lot of our initial prototypes. And I knew I wanted to have something that actually looked like ore, like V-Knight ore, right? Something that is, you can see, okay, well, this eventually turns into like this, right? As it gets refined down. Of course, the rule book. Right now, our rule book is like 8 pages. It's probably going to be 16 in the final edition. At the back, and I'm going to point this out, one of the reviewers picked up on this, which they thought was cool. I think it was Brains on Games, and they like this. I'm glad that he appreciated it because we put a lot of time into it. On the back, we actually talk about, you can't see it here, but there's 2 pages on could this happen? And it talks about the science. And it talks about some of the missions that went in the 70s that Russia sent there, and some of the probes that land on the surface that have lasted only minutes and then were destroyed. It talks about kind of the whole science behind all of establishing floating cities on Venus, which we thought was kind of cool. We did this with Queen of Scots. We had the whole backstory of Mary Queen of Scots and all the different players that we have in that card game, what role they played in history. And I always love those kind of little Easter eggs in the back of books, so we added it to ours. Spot UV printing on the box and inside lid printing. For us, you'll see this in a lot of Kickstarter campaigns. People will give kind of stuff that they might be doing anyways. They'll take it out of the game and then give it back to you based on different paywalls, right? So they'll create what we call fake stretch goals, because a lot of people want stretch goals. I had somebody today already reach out to me saying, hey, if there's no stretch goals, I'm not backing. That's fine. If that's what gets you to back the game, this is probably not for you. We wanted to give you the best possible game we could. This game is not cheap as it is. And so a stitched neoprene mat, having minis in the game, the marble dice, thermoform trays. We've already paid for the molds on those. I didn't want to hold any of that back and then kind of say, haha, yeah, no, we're going to give it to you. Now we've reached a goal. We just want to put our best foot forward. There will be some reveals. We got some cool things that we're going to reveal. It doesn't impact the game at all, but it's just some cool stuff that we're going to be talking about. About once a week, we'll do a reveal. And those will be announced periodically throughout the campaign. But there's no stretch goals. So what you see is the most premium game we could provide you. Spot UV on box, inside lid printing. Those are two perfect examples of that, which traditionally people put as stretch goals. For people that want a 6-player version of this game, we have what's called the extended pledge level. So rather than having another box that which quite frankly would be the easy way to do it, to say, okay, here's the one game, now here's the expansion. Especially from a pick-pack standpoint, it's much easier for them to grab 2 boxes than just ship it. We're going to have the factory actually integrate the 6-player version into a larger box with the 4-player version. So the 6-player version will just come in one box. It'll be a deeper box than the 4-player version, but it'll have everything in it. So you're not having to kind of cobble together different boxes when you go to game night. This is going to come with 2 extra mining mechs. Again, these have been painted by Megan. So just a caveat, you got to paint them yourselves. We have 24 more cloud drop cards. These will be unique to the game. Okay, so these are not going to be in the 4-player game. They're only going to be in the 6-player game. We're going to have 8 more event cards, again, unique to this game. 60 more innovation cards, again, unique to this game. 50 more V-Knots. That's a total 250 of these guys. It's a lot of V-Knots. We got to have a game where you have to pick up V-Knots as fast as you can. 250 pickup, we'll call it. That'll be the bonus edition. 2 more D6 dice. You have a total of 6 dice. You're going to an extra rocket-shaped resource bowl like this one. The one on the page was 3D printed. This is the actual thermoform mold that we have. So you get 2 of those now in your game. You'll get 6 of the resource trays for the minerals. 2 more quad layer boards, 2 more mini ISS player boards. So, and we put this little guide down the bottom. Again, thanks Chandler Copenhaver from BackerKit. He's like, is there any way to show kind of like a compare and contrast? And I'm like, yeah, you look at the pledge levels. It's over there. And he goes, no, but is there something you can do kind of side by side? So that's what we did. We wanted to show, okay, side by side, so you can see specifically what the difference is between these 2 pledges. And it's just over 110 more components for nearly 600 components in the 6-player version. That shows you side by each what you can get. How to play. Again, thank you so much to our reviewers and previewers. What I will say is that we put a call out to the different media groups and said, hey, we've got all these. Are we at this?
That's accurate.
That's accurate. Okay. So we're almost at 26,000. Thanks again to the 234 backers so far that have backed us. We put a call out to say, hey, we've got copies that we made at our factory. So instead of and the factory makes some of the parts by hand, like the player boards are by hand. So the paper wasn't quite dry when they glued them. So there's a tiny bit of warping, but these are all prototypes, not the final. But we said whoever wants one can have a game, and we'd love some content. So we had a lot of people respond very generously, donating their time. It takes a lot of time to create content, and so I want to thank every single one of the content creators that took a game and looked at it, whether it was even posts on Instagram, doing photography, The videos, it takes an incredible amount of time to do these. So thank you so much for doing those. You're all amazing. We showed, instead of having our page have an infinite scroll of videos, we tried to pick a few of them that we think is a good representation of all the videos out there. Certainly for many of these creators, you can go to their pages and see the videos and try to grab snippets from all the videos in terms of quotes that we have from them, so you guys can get a kind of a flavor for what people are saying. But the preview videos, we've got Genders Gaming, again, Total Pro. Again, a big fan of my brother from a Swedish mother that did the how to play video. Again, he did an amazing job, and really you get a good essence of what this game is about by watching that video. That's the first video up. I encourage you to watch that. We also have the Découvrez de Jeu, which did a French version of this. They're based out of Quebec, I believe, in French, of how to play the game. So thank you to them as well. Rule book, if you want to read the rules for yourself, it's there. Keep in mind, this is a draft rule book. Again, there's going to, as I said, we're going to go from 8 to 16 pages. There'll be a lot more pictures and so forth in our final book, but this gives you an idea of the rules. Previews. I had trouble kind of picking which ones go in previews and which ones in reviews, because quite frankly, outside of Genders, like all these other people, we just sent them a copy. Like there was no financial exchange or like these are all what you see is what their opinions, that they're not paid. So, but some of them were more kind of here's what the game is about without any commentary at the end. Those ones I tried to put into the preview section, and then the review section. We've got a few reviews in here as well, which talk about their first impressions. Hunger Gamer, we kind of skip to the end when he gets his review. Again, thank you to these guys. They tell it like it is, and no holds barred, which is great. And that's the way I want it. I want somebody, if you back this game, it's a game because it's something that you see your family, your friends, your game group play, because you understand what the game is about. And that's why we're here. We want to answer as many questions as we want. As you have. You got questions?
There's a couple that are coming.
And what are the questions? Okay, throw them to me. We'll answer the questions as we go. You got them? I can always flip over to the page. All right, I'm going to uncover Adam's face. So that's basically the bottom of the page. Once again, if you're watching this, please scroll down to the bottom, past the crew, and click on this KickTracks logo. This will take you to KickTracks page. It'll help us with our hotness ranking. That would be the biggest thing you could do with anything you do today. If you could click on that, that would help us immensely, even if you haven't backed it.
When you click on it, where do you go after that? Where does it take you?
Well, let's click on it. Let's see what happens. All right, we're going to click on it. Hopefully I'm not going to eat my words. There we go. So you click on it, it goes to KickTracks page, and it basically shows you how the campaign is trending. I always love the one trend because people always go like excited. So it shows like 700,000 is where we're going to end. I know we're not going to end at 700,000. Although that would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
That'd be awesome. But what KickTracks does is they just do a straight line. So they'll literally take what your current pledges are and they just divide by just multiply by 30, right? So you won't until literally like the last 3 days where actually they work in the actual graph, that reverse bell curve, to actually see where you're going to end. But it shows us kind of where we're at. Let's go to KickTracks and see. Are we on the hotness list yet? To Glory. Number 5, baby! Woo! Number 5 on KickTracks. To Glory, that's the name. To Glory. We're interviewing them tomorrow. Great dudes. They did, as I said, the Catapult Kingdom game, very tactile, based off of one of my favorite games I had as a kid. To Glory is like a pirate-based game where you're moving around a board, and I think you're actually able to like fling. You would actually love this. You're actually flinging the cannonballs at the other guy's ship.
That's cool.
On the board. Yeah. It's super cool. So we are in the top 5. Awesome. Today. That is amazing. Thank you so much for that. Okay. So I am going to go back to our page and I am going to uncover Adam's face.
Hello, everybody.
And he's back. He never left. And all right. So let's see. Let's go back. So you said there was questions. Yeah. Oh, I just took us to another page. Okay. So let's go to our questions, comments. I haven't seen anything come through on... Oh, I did see things come through on email. Okay. Cuckoo. Holy smokes, we got a lot of... okay, there's another one. I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to work my way backwards. Okay, we have CL said, any chance you're working on a solo rule variant? So I'm going to respond to these one at a time. Reply. Absolutely. We'll ship the rules with the game. Hope to have a TTS version in the next 3 months. Great question, CL. So we're going to post that. Stephen Bassett. Will the $1 pledge still have the same pricing options for the upgrade 2 to 6 player edition in the Pledge Manager? Ooh, good question. Good questions. And will PayPal be available as a payment method? That's another question. Ooh. I'm going to have to get back to you on PayPal. I really don't know. I got to check with BackerKit. I think BackerKit uses PayPal.
They might.
Great question. I'll get back to you. After chatting with BackerKit on the PayPal. Dollar pledge. So the what we will say is free marker is going to be available for those who pledge by the end of the campaign. So if you pledge in the Pledge Manager afterwards, like so if you say, okay, I'm going to lock in my pledge after the game is done, there won't be a free marker in that case. Is for game pledges during the campaign. The pricing was his other question. For the games will be the same in the Pledge Manager. And quite frankly, that's why we have that pledge level. So the dollar pledge level is to allow people to, and I get it. There's an investment here, right? To buy this game, and often, you might not have the funds available right now, but you really, really want the game. Totally get that, and so that's why we have the dollar pledge there. So if you pledge $1, that gives you access to the Pledge Manager. The cost of the game doesn't change for the Pledge Manager. It's going to be the same cost. The only difference is, as a bonus for those who back us today, the first player marker is available for people who pledge during the campaign. All right, so we got to lock our pledges in during the campaign. Again, it's an incentive to help us get our algorithms up, right, and help get our campaign funding up as much as we can. The higher we can get, especially on day one today. And quite frankly, if you plan on pledging and you're kind of just on the fence, do us a favor. Make the pledge. You can always cancel your pledge later on. It does not hit your card until the very last day when the campaign is over. That's the only time it hits your card. But it helps us with the algorithms because the first day really drives how the rest of that campaign goes. It's very mathematical, quite frankly, on how it goes for the rest of the campaign. So if you don't mind, if you are on the fence, please give us that pledge. And again, you can always change your mind later on. But for this person's question, I'm going to answer with great question. So Stephen was asking, will the $1 pledge still have the same pricing options for upgrade to the 2 6-player edition? Yes. And PayPal will be a possible method of payment. That I got to find out. We'll get an answer tonight on that once I talk to Alex at Kickstarter. Okay. Boom. Answered. Congratulations. Thank you, Loken. Congratulations on funding. Thank you, Kristen. Okay, I think that's all the questions through the campaign. Did you have more questions, Ed?
Nope, that was it.
Okay, those are good questions. Okay. And I apologize if I keep leaning in. My vision's not the best. Usually we had to do a different setup here. Usually this monitor's closer to me so I can just type away. But here I'm I have to squint and look in. So, all right. And the readers are for some reason only go things up this close. Okay, let's go back to our page. Okay, so we are at 27,136. And I think that is, let me go to Brave. Yeah, 27,000. Wow. So let me just say again, thank you. Thank you so much to the 246 people that have backed this game so far. That is very humbling. It's very humbling. We knew the campaign would be one of our better performers. We had no doubt about that. We put a lot of work into this, and anybody that's been on social media can tell because we've been advertising like crazy. And talking about this game, quite frankly, anybody would listen. And so it's when you finally see funding in an hour and a half, that I think is the best we've had yet. I think Nutty Squirrels funded in the first 4 hours, maybe, was it? First day, maybe. That was a much lower goal that we had on that one. But for certain, we are on track. This is the biggest campaign we've ever done. Already just on track, just based on the trajectory we have. So again, I want to thank everybody that's backed us so far. This has been absolutely amazing. So $27,136 so far in our pledging. And I just saw a response to our friend Steven. What's he saying? Good to know. I missed that in the campaign. Was it written somewhere? I would advertise it as 1 to 6. Yeah, it's a good question. So we... here's the challenge I ran into. Because we've got... The upgrade is... It's kind of like an upgrade. Because the bring it from a 4-player to a 6-player game is technically an upgrade to the game. But if you're just pledging that and you get the game, it's going to say 1 to 6 player. It's a 1 to 6 player game. So we ran into this debate. Do we say this is a 1 to 6 player game? And then you have the people saying, well, wait a second, but how come it's only 4 players? I'm confused on this one pledge level. Or you do the reverse. And we decided to go the reverse and say it's a 1 to 4 player game
with
upgradable to 6 players. So that's why we did that. I apologize if it caused any confusions. Okay, we've got... okay. Patrick sent me a message. Okay, and I think that is... I'll hop over there really quickly. You got a lot of well wishes on Facebook as well. I couldn't get the Facebook feed to work today. That's okay. Not a lot of people watch Facebook Live. Just saying. Instagram, though. We got a lot of people on Instagram watching. Okay. So, what do we have on our... So, again, I just want to shout out to Andy Kim. Great dude. He did the spill. Didn't get the chance to talk with Andy at the last con. I kept making eyes as he's walking by. I'd always have somebody talking to me at our booth. There's Andy. He's like, I'll come back. And then I'd go talk to him and he'd be talking to someone else. So, hopefully he's at Origins and we can actually sit down and play a game. He was part of the playtesting on this on one of our Proto Spiels. He had an amazing idea. I think it was the Rapid Transport card. That was his idea, I believe. Maybe he's putting the mini and putting the V0 into the mech. One of those two. This is why it's always great to play test at Proto Spiels because you get a lot of game developers there as well, and they come at it from just a completely different perspective altogether. And yeah, it was great getting some of that feedback. So Patrick, who was one of our reviewers. Again, I want to give a shout out to all the reviewers that were here. He did the Level Up podcast. If you get a chance, go to Level Up Gaming Podcast on anywhere you download your favorite podcast, quite frankly. There's an episode where we might as well call it the Seas of Venus episode. I was surprised they gave us as much airtime as they did. But they spent a good 30-40 minutes talking about the game, which is great. Very candid, right? They gave it, here's what we like, here's what we don't like. And that's fair. Totally awesome. And then they had me on to interview. And I'm usually interviewing other people on the Board Game Age podcast. It's kind of nerve-wracking being interviewed by other people. Totally crapped the bed on the trivia. He was just peppering me with a bunch of Pittsburgh sports questions. And this guy knows how much I watch sports, which is I don't watch any sports. So he's like, yeah, just name, give me the top 3 teams. I'm just like, come on, man. So we are going to pay him back. So I've already prepped him. I said, get ready with your Ontario, Canada trivia when you come on my podcast. We're going to ask you, what is the the provincial flower? Hey, it's everywhere. It's on their license. It's on our license plates. Everybody should know this. No, we're not going to harass him. But we are going to have him on our podcast. And him and the King are going to come on. And we'll talk to him on the podcast. But they're very gracious to review the game. So, again... Level Up Board Game Podcast. Great podcast to listen. Super good dudes. The other podcast I want to give a shout out to is the Gamecasters. They also covered us on their last episode. They are a different vibe for sure. I would say not safe for work. You wouldn't want to play that on the thing. But definitely a fun and funny a podcast with their interactions. And it's super generous of them to have us on their podcast as well. I just got to respond to my brother who's trying to call me in the middle of our live here. So Adam, you can take over while I'm chatting to Greg here.
Yeah, so
go through the minis again, man. Go through the minis.
Go through the minis. Holy moly, let's go through the minis. So again, the minis, when you guys are getting them in the game, they are not painted. So again, Megan did an amazing job painting all our minis, as you can see here. These are one of them. So you get to really customize your own style of painting your mini. So you'll get those guys there. Again, you got your little V-Knots coming in. You got over 200 V-Knots. Your first player marker. Again, that's the painted version of it. And some dice and a bunch of other fun stuff, as you see. But maybe...
Kick Tracks. Hop on to Kick Tracks if you could. Do us a favor. Click on Kick Tracks. Bottom of our campaign page. We definitely appreciate it. And here we are. Okay, just checking through all the questions. Over here one more time. And Scott, welcome. Jordan, welcome. Better Half Reviews. Hey, guys. Good to see ya. Thanks for joining. Great channel. Great channel. Dan, welcome. And how much longer do we have you for, Adam? I know you got work today, right?
You got me for about an hour and a bit.
Another hour and a bit?
Maybe an hour and a half.
I'm getting my Adam Phil today, man. I'm getting my Adam Phil.
I was going to say, do you want to set up a game?
We can. What I would suggest is we're probably going to... The problem is as soon as we go to the tabletop...
You think it cuts out the audio?
It cuts out the audio. The only other thing I could think of is maybe we could test by... Try to re-input it. Okay. If you are in the live, let me know if you want us to show a setup of this game. Give us a quick little yay or nay, or if you want us to keep talking to camera. We do have an overhead camera. The challenge we had it this morning is when we went to play it, the audio for some reason is not feeding through to YouTube specifically, which is weird. But we could try again. Why don't we try that? Don't leave us. Only give us like 60 seconds to see if we can try this out. Maybe we'll go
on YouTube.
Yeah, you go on YouTube. Adam's gonna go on YouTube again. If you're watching, anybody on YouTube, maybe let us know, and we'll go from there. Okay, got Steven make another comment here. Not too worried about the first player market. Figured out a while back if you use PayPal, I can avoid international currency fees. So I'll get in at $1 now in the pledge manager, assuming PayPal is an option, or else I'll switch pledges during the campaign. Cool. Thanks, Steven. Appreciate the pledge. Okay, so you got your audio there, my friend? I can hear myself. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go desk cam. Can you hear me, Adam?
Not sure, it hasn't done yet.
Ground control to Major Tom.
You're a little delayed.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Yes, you can.
You can?
Yep, works.
What about on TikTok?
I will take a look right now.
Oh, that's going to be super awesome if we can do that. I'm just checking the audio, my friends. Oh, this is exciting. Means we can set up a game. Do. All right, so if he's doing that, I am going to...
It works.
Oh, Andrew Gilpin. I want to give a shout out to. Awesome. Okay. So we are going to set up a game. And we'll play a quick game, maybe a few rounds, see how it goes. We'll stop to answer questions if you guys... We'll stop to answer questions you guys have along the way. I want to do a shout out to Andrew Gilpin. He was the backer number 1 this morning. Just what a great guy. He has been the number 1 backer, I think, on every one of my campaigns except for one. And He was on not Queen of Scots, Planting Evidence, which we had on GameFound. He was backer number 1 there. We pulled that campaign from GameFound, then we relaunched on Kickstarter, and then he ended up being backer number 2 on that one. But we still gave him the win on because he was there on GameFound. But he's just been super, super supportive and just a great friend, and really appreciate all the support. So Andrew, if you're listening, thank you so much for your support, pal. All right, Ab and I are going to set up so give me one of those player boards maybe. So I can throw it over here if you want, if you need some stuff. So this I'm going to try to put over here. All right, this is going to be a little precarious, but we're going to try it. Okay.
I just want to show the world how I can beat you.
Funny guy. Brothers, we are super competitive. That is true. Although you were a little crusty the other night. I don't know if it's just because you're lacking sleep or... You didn't like when I took your card, that's for sure.
I wasn't even going for that.
I thought you were going to throw dukes. All right, I'm going to do the overhead cam. Again, if you guys have any trouble with audio, let us know, and we will try to recalibrate. Okay, so we've got, for contrast, I'll use these mechs here. Okay, and the gems. So we are going to play Cities of Venus.
You have the Earth card there? Never mind, I got it.
You got it? Okay. So we're going to do 20 of each. Okay, so let's get this position first. And we'll kind of build everything around the center. So it's going to go like this. I guess it's the straightest on view.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do is we'll put the minerals, I think, up here. My mech is going to go over here. Got my player board. You're going to have to go on top of the player boards. How's your player board looking here?
That's fine.
Might have to get you scooch in. What we'll do is we're going to shift the card over here, so then you can like overlap on there on an angle a little bit so people can see the boards. Maybe a little bit. Or do we shift this up even more? Maybe we'll do that. Okay. There we go. Okay. And we got this. And you got your mini player board?
Yeah, my mini play board's right here.
No, your innovation station.
I'll fit it in there.
That's good. Just like that's good. But you need your inno station.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay. There. I think I need a die too. I'm missing a die, yeah. All right. 250 backers. Wow. Let's scooch this down here. All right. You too can join. 250 backers. And the logo. Move that logo over here. Okay. Cool. All right. So the events. We're going to do events like we did last time. So these are events. I'll let you shuffle the events.
Let's pull that in towards you more.
Oh, this way?
The whole, board. There you go. And then both our player boards are almost in.
Yep, that's cool. I got to scooch over a little bit.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of my way. All right. So I'll let you do the setup of those. So it's going to be 20 in each pile.
Yep.
I'll do the events. The event thing we did a change about, say, 3 weeks ago on how we do the events. Originally what we had was piles. We just randomly pick 4 events and then make that event available for each person in these piles. And there'd be 2. So they were like basically equal to the player count or 1 less than the player count of larger player values. But instead, I again, and this is through, again, playtesting. And quite frankly, even between now and when we finally go to print, if there's something cool that comes up and we can integrate it, we're going to integrate it. It's, again, that's the cool thing about Kickstarter is you're helping us kickstart the game, although it's ready to go. As soon as our artwork's finalized, which again, next month or so, then we can start working towards going to print. Already working with the manufacturer. The manufacturer made all this for us, so like the thermoform trays are already done with the molds that we paid for. So most of it's done, but things like cards can be tweaked. Player boards, we're working on tweaking these a little bit as well. But if there's a cool idea, we'll take it. We'll take it. Okay. And what the cool idea we had was, that someone came up with, was taking all the event cards. So in this case, we got 7 as part of this prototype. As I said earlier, we're going to have way more. You shuffle them up. And this is where the variability comes in, as you deal them out. So we're going to have the ability to go through multiple events. Every game will be different. And as we take these events, or take these, innovation upgrades, then we'll take the card basically underneath it. Katie just joined. Katie's awake. Yay, Katie.
That's cool.
She's upstairs.
Oh.
Yeah. We had 2 kids upstairs, home from school, and 11:43. They're just waking up.
All right.
Mike Bruner just sent us a congratulations note. Thank you so much, Mike. Mike Bruner, producer of the Board Game Binge podcast, just a great friend, great guy. He did Queen Bee, was his game he had on Kickstarter. He's working on another game right now called Gadgets, which I'm super excited for. And yeah, thanks for the well wishes, man. That's awesome. We're gonna do first player. What are you doing?
I don't have that.
You want to use the Chooser?
Sure.
Chooser app? All right, we're going to use the Chooser app.
I hope you're all ready to witness an absolutely butt kicking that I'm about to serve up.
That's how it's going to be, eh? Okay. We'll see. John just pledged. Thank you very much, John. I grabbed the 6-player version. Okay, ready? Chooser app. As first player. I use the Chooser app. I don't know if you can see that. There you are. It's like that color. You go on Apple and you just, I forget who showed me this, but you download it. It's called Chooser. It's free. And basically everybody puts their finger, obviously if you're germaphobe, you don't want to use this app, but everybody puts their finger on the phone and the phone will randomly choose the first player. That is super cool. So we do that. And now we're going to, and you did 20 of each card?
Yep.
Do the setup. So initial setup, we're going to do our initial board setup, which is 6 V-knots in the
4 and 4.
4. Yeah. Trying to cheat already. There we go. And 4. Okay. Oh, it's 4 in your shields. Yep. So shields has 4 V-knots to start. We got 1 V-knot in power, 1 mechanical, and 4 we're going to have in the water and air. Maybe, we're going to try something different here, Adam. We haven't done this before.
Sure.
And I know you're not going to want to do this, but we're going to try.
Sure.
Let's explain our strategies as we're going along so people know why we're doing what we're doing.
Sounds like a plan.
And let me preface this with, him and I have very different strategies how we approach this game. So there's no right or wrong way. You'll establish your own strategies, but this is, I think it'll add good commentary for people that are watching. Okay, so we set up our board. We're ready to go. We got our V-knots. First step is
the drop.
The drop. Coming through the atmosphere. 1, 2, 3.
So just to point out, the cards that are being dropped out as well, as you see, there's a lot of these cards that just got flipped that have these little boost or these little arrows with a V-knot on it that show you the boost.
That
is those there are not upgrade cards to your city. They actually boost in the very specific area that the card belongs to.
Immigration, basically.
Immigration, exactly. So those are the V-knots that are going to be working in those different stations on your city. Some people sometimes get a little slightly confused where they'll take those boosts and just put them wherever they'd like in amongst their city. So just to touch base on that, it goes for the specific areas on where they are. So that is our drop. We do have an event right away, as you can see right over there. So we're going to flip one over and see what our first... Ooh, it's being favorable to us today.
This is a weird drop. I just want to make this commentary. I don't think I've seen this happen before. Where with a 5-card drop, every single card is an immigration boost. Usually it's a mix and match of upgrades because it's about 50-50 in the deck. 50% immigration upgrades, 50% mechanical upgrades. I haven't seen a drop like this yet. That's what I think is so cool is every single time you play, it's completely different. I played games like this where we're getting people right out of the gate, so we both get 2 V-Knots. I'm going to place them in my food and air. I like to put my V-Knots here first when I play because this is the core engine of getting your population growth going. The game gets more punishing as you go, and if you don't have a steady stream of V-Knots coming in on a regular basis, you're going to be cooked later on. That surprised me last time we played. You actually took them and you put them into your innovation station.
Tried something
because he wanted to do a mad rush for these because some of these cards are going to be more preferred than others. All right, so that's the first step. So we resolved the event.
Then we have to drop one of our shields.
Drop our shields.
Again, it is forever corroding.
I'm going to drop this guy because his mask looks like he's looking down. He's sad, so he knows he's going. He's gone. All right.
And then we grow our population.
So I'm going to go by 5. I think you go up by 5 as well.
I go up by 4 on this one.
Oh, you did? You moved him somewhere else?
Yeah.
Where'd you put him?
I threw him down into the...
mining just in case?
Mining, just in case.
All right, just for giggles. All
just
right.
for giggles, see something different.
So I'm going to, again, get my engine going. So I'm going to move 6 there. Definitely go put them in mining because you need to mine every round. And for me, and what Adam's doing here is good, especially as getting later rounds, is having at least 2 people there. Because often people will say, I'll just, when it gets population growth phase, I'll make sure I put my miner down in the mining department so that I can mine. But if you have a card, an event that comes up that makes no population growth, like a radiation leak, you're not going to be able to do that. So, and then if you can't mine, that really sucks. So we're going to be able to mine. And I'm going to put my other 2 up in my innovation station.
All right.
I'm going to make a mad dash for the innovation. All right. I got my little mech here.
So now we'll take one of our V-Knots, place them in our little mech to activate so we can go mining. Take our 1. Roll away. I've
2.
got 4. So I get... Again, the pink is worth 4, black is worth 1. And you got the white ones that are worth 8.
It goes in your center holding area where you keep your minerals. Yeah, it's just as it gets more refined, the minerals, they get lighter and lighter.
And then you take your die, put them back in. And again...
Cook that guy.
Mining is a very harsh thing. They're gone. And now to our next one.
And that was our city action phase is what that is part of. There's lots of things we can do during city action. You can, if you had minerals, you could buy a meeple, 1 per round. Certain cards like the upgrade that allows you to move people across your station, you have to do that during step 5. Some of our other innovations that are coming, which are upgrades in different departments. Anything that allows you something special is going to happen during the city action phase. All right. Now we are... in player turn order, so Adam is the first player.
Also, just to let you know, you can spend 4 minerals.
I said that.
Oh, you said it, okay.
Yeah, 4 minerals for 1 V-Knot. Right now I can't because I only have 2, but you could if you want. Do you want to do that?
No, I'm good right now.
You sure?
I'm positive.
You can spend it.
I'm going to go ahead and buy a card. So I'm going to go right here. Now, this is a specific card that I was eyeballing right away. As you can see, it is a boost card, but also on the top... Oh, there we go. Up on the top there on the bottom, it's also worth 1 victory point. There's no other card that's worth a victory point, so that's why I'm going after this card right now. That goes up to my side. I get 4 new V-Knots that are going to go into my mechanic section.
I'm going to answer a question really quickly here.
Sure, go ahead.
So we had a question come through. Oh, she just asked to join Board Game Binge. Okay, so that person will come through automatically. Yeah, if you want to join Board Game Binge, please do so. Board Game Binge podcast. We've got it's a private group, over 1,800 members. Again, just people that have same interests you do, board games. I love board games. Love to join in any kind of commentary you want to have when you're in the group. Please do so. Try not to spam us. And what we do is we also post the follow-up of any of our podcast episodes we do. We'll put the video up there afterwards, so you can even watch the podcast episodes in the Board Game Binge podcast. Okay, we've got Eater of Meeples just joined. That is an awesome handle. That kind of reminds me of Board Game Binge, right? Because our logo, the guy's actually eating meeples.
Eating meeples.
Yeah, I had another question come in. Sorry, I'm going to answer this question really quickly.
I have one from Helen, I think.
So yeah, this came in from Helena. Thanks for asking. I was hoping for a solo variant, and I'm happy that's going to happen. Awesome, yeah. So just to clarify, yeah, there will be a solo variant of this game. Okay, so now we are... You grabbed that canister. Which one
I did. I grabbed the
mechanic
boost to the mechanic, and I pay my 4 minerals.
Try not to pay your minerals. I see. And it's very important to pay attention. We actually had one reviewer, and again, later on they're like, "Oh, sorry, that was my bad." Where they're like, "Wow, we have like so many meeples at the end of the game. We had like 60 each," and I was like, "I've never seen that happen." And so we started getting, okay, was there something different? And what they were doing is these boost cards, they were just placing them anywhere. They didn't realize that the symbol, you actually have to place them in the department that's on the card, and that you have to respect the capacity. And you'll see on our boards, we got these 6s. That's the maximum capacity you can have in that department. I can't put any more people in my food or my air departments because I'm at capacity. Now, there are other cards that are going to come up later on where I can increase that capacity, but right now that's my capacity. So, all right, I am going to grab... Oh, you bugger. Oh.
I also took that card just to let everybody know because the other ones are food and air. That's all that's on the table right now. And the one that had the victory point also was the only one that had the mechanic section. Since knowing I saw Jay had already filled out and he can't acquire any more V-Knots for his food or air, he can't pick up any of those cards, but he can...
So this is the one element of Take That somebody can prevent you from getting a card you want. I mean, obviously Adam wouldn't grab that card if it didn't benefit him.
It did.
And quite frankly, I would have done the same thing because right now I'm maxed in that department. So these get cooked to the surface. I'm going to take one V-Knot in its place. I'm going to put that in my innovation station. All right.
The next
player marker moves over to me. First player and the drop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hordes and Boards, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We are doing a live of our Kickstarter campaign, which is currently at, the marker says almost 28,000. I don't know if that's accurate or not. There was a little bit of a delay this morning, but we funded on this campaign, and we're streaming live up until probably about 1 o'clock.
We have crossed 30,000.
Holy crap. Let's just do a little refresh there, shall we? Let's go to Brave and refresh. And 30,000, almost 31,000. Wow, thank you so much. How many backers is that?
We are up to 278 backers. Let's see if we can get to 300 by lunch.
Thank you so much, guys.
By 1 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I agree.
Thank you. Much love. Wow. All right, so we are we're doing a live playthrough of this game. Adam and I were the designers of Cities of Venus. And so you can get a feel for what this game's about. And we're live on Kickstarter. So go to Kickstarter, Cities of Venus. And this is our campaign. Check out the campaign page. At the very least, please click on the Kick Tracks logo at the bottom of the page. It helps us with our algorithms. Box to board, welcome. Welcome. Okay, so we did the drop. I'm going to scour, kind of look at the cards, see what I might want. There is one event, so we're going to flip the one event over. Triggered. Actually, yeah, it's one event. So what this card does is we had something strike our station in the water air department, and because we're in the first phase, which is that right there, we each lose one person from that department. Gonzo. All right, now we erode our shields. Take some away from our shield department. Gone. Now we grow our population because we just took a hit. Now I only grow by 5.
I only grow by 5 as well.
Oh, sorry, that guy tried to jump into my shield department.
All right.
I'm definitely going to put somebody in my mining. I'm going to put that guy back there. You can deploy up to 2 people per deployment into your innovation station. So I'm going to go up there.
And I'm going to send 2 people up into the innovation
And then I'm going to scour these cards to see what I might want to buy. Oh,
I think I know where this is going to go here.
All right, so these cards are upgrade cards. You can see like the there's like a number there. Oh, Alex McGuire from Backer Kit just congratulated us. Thanks, Alex, for all your hard work on this campaign. So this is worth 1 victory point. You can see the 7 brings that department capacity up. But I'm going to go for this card when it's my turn to grab because it allows me to add up to 6 V-Nuts anywhere on my station, which is what this symbol here says, is generic. So to get that card, I'm going to need 2 food and air and water and a V-Knight. So this guy, I'm going to deploy... I'm going to give him to my shields. Okay. And so now, city actions. Oh, if I had more V-Knight, I would have been able to buy a person and I could have cashed it right away. Okay. So city actions. There's no cards to install. There's nothing reserved.
Yep. Keep going. Sorry.
So we're going to take our miner. If you want to mine.
Mine away we go.
I'm going to mine. Yes, guy.
Yes, I got 6.
I got a 4. You're the luckiest roller on these. And then that guy, no! He's not coming home. It's kind of macabre when you think about it, but we do have the follow-up game, Survivors of Venus, that show these guys did not actually die. They survived, and they help people to build a ship to come back up to the city. But you don't know that, so as far as you're concerned, that guy just died. Okay. Now... any city actions? I don't think there's anything else I want to do. So now we're going to go to the grab. I am going to take this card. That is a no-brainer. So I got to pay 2 food, 1 water, air, and 1 mineral. 1 piece of V-Knight. So V-Knight back. Usually I just shift them off to the side because I'm going to put them back there anyways. But so that people can see, I take them out. I place this card because it's a boost card. I'm going to place it to the side of my player board. So I'm just going to put it it's off camera, but it's off to the side. The reason you put it off to the side is if it has victory points on it, you can track it at the end of the game, as well as an end game tiebreaker. If 2 people have the same score, then whoever has the most canisters collected breaks that tie. All right, so I'm going to grab my 6 people. I'm going to put 2 onto my innovation station. So now I'm up to 2, 4, 6, 7. And I am going to... obviously put him back into my food and air, and I think I'm going to put this guy down in my mining. Adam, it's your take.
All right, so I am going to go for, let's see. I'm going to go and grab the air one here. This one here is going to allow me to now bring up to 7 people into my air department, and it also gives me a victory point. The cost on that card is 1 mechanic, 1 person for my power station, and a person from any area I would like to take, which I'll take another mechanic since I have